Measure backwards. When you're feeling like a loser, when times are tough, when you don't know how you're going to get through this moment, measure backwards. Remind yourself just how far you've come. Remind yourself of what you've done, what you've accomplished. And sometimes, just noticing the new perspective we have now is what makes all of this, of what we're going through, worthwhile. Sometimes we have to go through long stretches of our life, suffering through these dumbass bouts of running around and whatever. We have to go through these long periods, these long stretches of suffering through stuff we don't want to go through, just to gain one new perspective. And that one perspective could be exactly what we need. And sometimes it'll take several months just to get that one perspective. But then you have it. And that is what can make it all worthwhile. You know, I'm finding myself in a situation where I gotta measure backwards. Where I'm like, oh man, like I'm this old and, I should be here, but I should be all the way over here. Should be all the way over here, but I'm all the way back here still. But let's measure backwards. What have I been struggling with? What have I been overcoming? A lot of times, it can be very difficult to realize just how much progress we've made, because so much of what is called progress is just getting rid of all of the things that are weighing us down. And then once we get rid of them, they no longer exist, and we can easily forget that they were once there. I could talk down on myself for, I'm this many years in and I'm only this far, but it's like, yeah, but I'm this many years in and I quit this addiction, that addiction, and I learned this about myself, and I learned this about reality, and I got this part mastered, and I lost this fear. And I did this many projects, and I got experience doing this, and I learned about people in this way, and I gained wisdom in that way. And all of it, I was trying to learn as much as I can given what I knew, and I disciplined myself as much as I could given what I knew as well. And I made the best decisions that I knew at the time. And so I need to love and accept myself for where I ended up. And just to allow yourself to say, like, it's okay. This too shall pass, and you will grow through it. And look how much you've already accomplished. So instead of looking at where you are and finding ways of finding all the ways that you're not measuring up to where you want to be, remind yourself that you've already gotten so far. And sometimes we need to do that, to just ground ourselves into just being content with this moment. Yes, that dissatisfaction with yourself can be a good motivator to push you to do more. But you have, in those moments where you don't want to keep going and like you feel like crap, that's not going to be adding to the situation. just like saying like you should be this, should this, should that, whatever. Give yourself permission to love yourself as you are. Because then from that strong foundation, can we truly choose to grow and take that next step with confidence. And remember, this moment where you're not, where you're not feeling on top of the world, that too shall pass. So give yourself permission to feel good about what you have done, what you have accomplished, how much you have grown. A lot of times on the path to success, we're going to find all the ways it didn't work, and it's going to seem like we're not making any movement. But all that experience you're gaining is valuable. And that is the movement, even though it's not so easily seen. So remember that. This is when we need to sit down and remind ourselves of where we came from. And to realize that we are all growing at our own pace. And we can't compare to other people because they didn't have our hand that we were dealt. If you were dealt their hand, you'd be where they are. If you had their mind, their indoctrination, their upbringing, their resources, their thoughts, right? Their identity, you would be exactly where they are. But no, you have your mind, your thoughts, your upbringing, your traumas, your indoctrinations, your level of clarity. And you're going to make the best decisions you know how. You're going to have your setbacks. I definitely have to remind myself of how far I've come, and it can be easy to forget all the ways that I have been underdeveloped. All the problems that I had, all the fears and insecurities, and then to see now just how much I've blossomed over the years. It's way faster than other people. Yet I'm setting that standard for myself where it's like, no, I want more. It's not where I want to be. And that's good as well. But not good in those moments where you are feeling like a loser and you're not even wanting to take the next step. That's not good. You can feel like a loser by taking action. If that's motivating you to take more action, that's good. But if you're stagnant, if you're stopped in your tracks because you're like, why bother? This is when you need to start measuring backwards. So take a moment. Make a mind map. Take out your journal. Write it out. Sit down. Set a timer for 50 minutes. And recall how much you've grown in the last 5 years, let's say. 10 years, whatever. How much you've been through. How much you've developed yourself. So, with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.